Hello there and a very good evening to you. Welcome to TV47 News Update. My name is Stanley Ringita. Remember, you can keep interactive with us on our social media platforms at TV47KE. Quite a lot lined up for you. Let's take a look at them. Right now, we start with the education matters. Schools in the country reopened today following a 2-week break to allow for preparations of the country's general election that ended on the 9th of August. Education Cabinet Secretary Professor George Magoha had ordered schools to be closed on 2nd of August because many served as polling stations. Going back to schools has been faced with many challenges, some of the parents complaining of the lack of vehicles, increased fare and fees in schools, which they had expected to reduce considering that the pupils were at home.
Kwa majina anaitwa Wesley Weche. Mimi ile kitu ndaweza sema sahi enyewe serikali wazazi wanapitia changamoto mingi. Kama sasa tuseme ilikuwa tu ni juzi tu watoto wamefunga shule wamekuja. Sasa sikia mambo na uchaguzi, watoto si walikuja tu wamefunga shule wamerudi. Sasa tena ndio wamefungua shule. Kitu ya kwanza mzazi anaathirika, fare ndio hiyo. Unakuja tu fare iko juu. Alafu unapata vitu zingine mzazi unajua kirudi hivi mtoto atarudi shule hivyo. Siku 2-3 tena mtoto ndio amerudishwa school fees. Unajua inafaa unaingia tu shule tu na school fees mzazi anatoa hivyo tu. Lakini hiyo tu wenyewe tunasema ni changamoto kubwa, inaumiza Wakenya.
Okay, kwa majina naitwa Martha Munyi na mimi ni mzazi ambaye ameaffectiwa sana na mambo kutoka COVID. Mtoto wangu ni victim wa COVID. Ni wao watoto walisimama shule wakati wa COVID. Sasa nimemrudisha leo na hakuna magari. Nauli imepanda, hatuna pesa. So ningeomba wakati mwingine election isogeshwe mpaka December ndio watoto wao wako na time ya wao wamefunga, isiwe ina affect masomo ya watoto.
Lakini leo tumekuwa na ubungufu wa magari sababu wanafunzi wamekuwa wengi na bei ya kusafiri imepanda juu. Sasa ndio tulikuwa tunaomba kama wazazi wetu watuelewe, manake tumepitia changamoto mingi. Wengine wanafunzi wanafika shule tunalipa school fees, wakitoka hapa wanakaa wiki 2, tena wakirudi shule tena tunaambiwa tunatoa pesa zingine. Lakini ile tu tunaomba tu hii serikali yetu venye wameamua wamwe kitu ya muhimu ili sisi tuendelee na maisha na kufunza wazazi na wanafunzi waendelee kusoma.
And still on the education beat, CS for Education Professor George Magoha during his visit in Kiambu County officially launched more CBC system projects. Speaking to the media, Magoha said that 80% of CBC classrooms have been already constructed.
Available for the junior secondary school. Everything else being constant, I am assuming that the incoming administration will also embark on further additional 10,000 classrooms that may be required as we move forward. In terms of the using of our primary school resources, we have already identified 2,300 classrooms, schools which are within the same precinct as high schools. And because time is of essence, we shall also use those classrooms. There will be about between 3,000 to 5,000 classrooms available in those schools, which means we don't have to worry about teachers because they are in the same compound. I don't want to think for the incoming government, but we have left for them an avenue of low-lying fruits. For example, we have not taken schools which have the same fence with the primary schools.
Meanwhile, outgoing President Uhuru Kenyatta today met and held discussions with visiting United States Senator Chris Coons at State House in Nairobi. The US Senator commended Uhuru Kenyatta for ensuring peace and stability during the previously held general election. On the other hand, the outgoing president detailed that he will remain dedicated in promoting good governance to ensure the country continues to uphold peace before, during, and after the transition period. Right, moving on, UDA Mombasa gubernatorial candidate Hassan Omar now warns IEBC officials in the county changed on allegations that they have been bribed by his competitor. According to him, he is not going to use any form of power to secure the seat, adding that the cost shall be free of malpractice and shall depict whom the residents want. Hassan says he is sure of winning in the contest with 80% since he is best suited to govern the county.
Deploy wale permanent staff wao kutoka other parts of the country kuja kuwa presiding officers na returning officers hapa. They don't have to keep these staff members ambao wamewachukua kwa kibarua, sio? So that we can conduct a free fair election. Yule ndugu yangu alikuwa amekataa because alikuwa amewapa dogodogo. Simuliona katika baadhi ya runinga asema anataka wale waendelee. My brother, mambo si yale tena. Your time is up. Mlidhulumu watu sana, lakini wewe muangalie sisi. Mungu ametupa fikra kwamba tutapata nguvu. Na tumeambiwa na kiongozi wetu, don't abuse it. Hatutotumia polisi siku ya election. Hatutotumia public administration siku ya election. Hatutotumia violence siku ya election. Na tutazuia bribery siku ya election. Hatutokubali pia mtu kuhonga watu. Na nimesikia baadhi ya wapinzani wenzetu wakisema wanataka kwenda kotini, na sisi tunaomba Mungu hiyo koti ikubali hiyo tarehe 23. Manake huu ni uchaguzi twenda kushinda na 80%. Hatuna sababu yoyote sisi kutotaka kwenda uchaguzi tarehe 23. Kwa hivyo ikiwezekana koti ikisema iendelee tarehe 28 kama 23 kama margin si 80%, basi sijui utayarudi TikTok wewe mpaka sauti kukolee.
Right, moving on, a section of political aspirants from Ukambani who lost in last week's election says they will move to court to contest the outcome of their respective races, adding that they have evidence of massive vote rigging during the exercise. The aspirants have questioned how they scored 0 votes in polling stations where their families and close supporters voted.
Nilikuwa natetea kiti cha MC Tala Ward, na kwa hakika kura tulipiga na zilipigwa, lakini sikufurahia sababu kuna aspirant wengine especially wa Wiper walianza kununua watu. Waliwanunua usiku tukiamkia kura, na pia wakawafuata kwa line. Watu walikuwa wananunuliwa kwa line wapige kura, wanapatiwa pesa, hawafichi, hawaogopi. So nilikuwa nashindwa maskini na wale ambao they are middle people watapata haki yao lini.
Nasema Machakos, nilienda around kila pahali, pembe zote za Machakos nilitembea, na watu wakanipenda na wakanipigia kura. Lakini kufikia siku ile ya 9th August ni kura ilipigwa vibaya. Kulikuwa na watu walikuwa na kura ilikuwa inaibiwa. Kura ilikuwa watu walipiga kura, wakanipigia kura, lakini nilishangaa wakati result ilianza kutoka na kewa kura iko chini sana. Kwingine hata nilipigiwa na watu wa familia kunawekwa 0.
Kura zetu naweza sema ukweli ziliimbiwa kwa sababu ya kile tuliona, na sababu ya kusema hivyo ni vile tulitembea na watu wengi walipiga kura, hata wale wa familia yangu wote walipiga kura. Lakini watu wengi walisimamishwa na chama ya Wiper na chama zingine zikatoa pesa, wakasimamisha watu wasiende kupiga kura na wakawekwa parking.
The Maendeleo ya wanawake organization through its chair Rahab Mwikali has today given the position in regards to the just concluded general election, pointing out that indeed there was a significant improvement as compared to 2017, which saw 7 women elected as governors from 3 previously, 26 MPs from 23 in single constituencies, and 47 women representatives. While addressing the media at their headquarters in Nairobi, the chairperson also commended the courage, determination, and resilience of all women who stood for elective positions. She added that the organization will give its direction once the swearing-in process is done. Definitely be updating you on that. And still on matters women and leadership, a group of political women leaders who vied for different political seats in the just concluded general election but failed to clinch the seats have called for more women inclusivity in the incoming government as a way to achieve gender balance in leadership. The group, which addressed the media at a Nairobi hotel, asked other women to stand out and demand for appointive seats as a way of giving back to the society. The group also called for the incoming government to consider them by appointing some of them to serve in different positions as a way of appreciating their efforts.
And I'm going to pass over the voice to my colleague here to say why we are here. Thank you so much.
Thank you so much, Dr. Judy. Good afternoon, everybody. The women of Kenya.
Good afternoon.
The women of Kenya, power. Power. The women of Kenya, power. Power. This is the women of Kenya, and we represented this country in various positions. My name is Julia Nyokabi-Chege. I vied for Member of Parliament, Kangema, and we are quite a number of us, and we are here in solidarity, as my sister Dr. Judy has said, that we are going to support this country. We are going to support the leadership that is there in our counties. And also something that we are saying, we are not looking at two-third gender rule. We are looking at... We need to look at these women who have positioned themselves. They have put themselves out there. They have used their resources. So HE, kindly, can you listen to us? Can you see us? We are already here, and we are calling upon the government to actually assimilate us in different positions. We are alive to that we know very well there are positions out there. But we are saying, Kenya, enough is enough, whereby people get appointed because of who they know. We are all women of Kenya, and we want peace also. So the media, now I think you have the information that we needed to...
Right, back to some election disputes. Jubilee and independent candidates have disputed Kiambu elections outcome, claiming that IEBC did not do a correct tallying of votes in Kiambu County. Further, they say that there were process failures. Chief agents of different stations were denied badges and also denied entry by the presiding officers for long hours. The party claims that the results were not free and fair, adding that the matter has been reported to the DCI and steps will be taken.
The Jubilee candidate for Kikuyu constituency, where we had a lot of issues since early in the morning, whereby all our agents were blocked out, and we came to know that was the beginning of everything in that particular constituency, because that is when ballots started to be issued double, and a lot of things were done. We had a lot of issues in Kikuyu constituency. For example, we caught one of the IEBC officers. It was not even a clerk, a ballot issuing clerk. It was a deputy presiding officer who was caught red-handed by one of our agents issuing 2 ballots. I called the returning officer, Kikuyu. She told me that she never knew anything about it. And then she said that she was rushing to Delhi Secondary, but by the end of the day, she did nothing about it. We had a similar case still in Kid Pharmaco Primary. The Delhi case, they took the 2 ballots and they put them in an envelope, but they never acted on it because the very same officer of the IEBC still continued to work in the very same polling stations.
On my part, I have instances where ballot boxes pertaining to the senatorial election had either broken seals, or some of them literally had been punctured, which perhaps indicates that somebody had done that deliberately to give them an opportunity to insert or stuff ballot boxes.
And back to some women in leadership, the Maendeleo wanawake organization, through its chair Rahab Mwikali, has today given the position in regards to the just concluded general election, pointing out that indeed there was a significant improvement as compared to 2017, which saw 7 women elected governors from 3 previously, 26 MPs from 23 in single constituencies, and 47 women representatives. While addressing the media at their headquarters in Nairobi, the chairperson also commended the courage, determination, and resilience of all women who stood for elective positions. She added that the organization will give its direction once the swearing-in process is done.
This particular time, we want to say we have always supported the government, and we will continue to do so. When the country settles down, we will engage the women who have been elected so that we forge a way forward for the many members we represent in this country. It is not enough to go to Parliament, to go to Senate and just be like a club. It is enough to all of us Kenyan women to sit down and say, what is this one thing we want to do? We are number 3 in the world for girls giving birth at 10 years and therefore becoming grandmothers at 20 years. And so we want to sit down and look at the poverty which is with our girls who are very many now.
Right, listen to this next story. Kiambu bishops have condemned church demolitions as a way of eradicating curse at the old worshipping centers, believing that those places are cursed. However, according to Charles Muturi, the Mount Kenya South ACK Church Bishop, the old buildings are cursed and should be demolished before the commencement of reconstruction of new ones.
Once a building is consecrated for divine services, you cannot hold any service in there, like you cannot eat in it, you cannot do secular programs in there. But now when you release it, it's ready for demolition. It's ready, you can even now, like today, you can eat in it. That is simply what it means. Because once consecrated, a service is mainly, a building is mainly reserved for divine services.
I call upon all my clergy who are very supportive. I call upon all the well-wishers to come and help us put up this cathedral in 2 years.
To some agriculture news now, and farmers in Kajiado County have been encouraged to shift gears from livestock keeping to beekeeping, a move that will see them utilize and conserve the environment, thus making it conducive for keeping other animals. According to John Tanui, residents of Kajiado have been losing their cattle during dry season due to water and pasture scarcity.
Nini mradi ya msinga tumefaidi, tumepewa na mheshimiwa wetu Robiko. Ametusaidia sana kwa sababu asali ni tumepata asali na tumesomeshwa asali ni dawa, na wakati ya kiangazi
tutakuja kufanya ile kitu naitwa capacity building ama training ya kupatia hawa lessons ama kufundisha hawa ujuzi ya kufuka nyuki. Pia tuliona tumelete maji hapa, idara ya Net Fund wamelete maji hapa. Sisi pia tulisema tutakuja kwenda pale kwa milima tuone venye tunaweza kuexpand maneno ya maji. Maji haitakuwa maji peke yake ya ng'ombe ama watu, pia tutapatia miradi kidogo kidogo, miradi kidogo kidogo ya nini ya nyuki, because ukitaka kufuka nyuki lazima pia wapate maji. So hizo technology zote tuna package kwa part of the training ambayo inaitwa capacity building. Unaona hao ni watu wa nyumbani, anybody